Yeah, I like the Rams-49ers under. Let me check the most recent number. I
It's like
believe it's still
45-5.
45, 40, yeah,
It's
45
still,
and
I
a
think there's
half.
still a hook. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
It's
still a
still a
hook
hook.
out there. Look, I mean, if you go back to the first time these teams played, and this was, and by the way, something we've mentioned before in the past is this is a late season or a second late season, but more importantly, a second division meeting between two teams, which generally favors the under. The familiarity generally favors the defense. When these first two teams, excuse me, say that again. The first time these two teams played, San Fran won 20-7, and what happened in this game is San Fran went completely vanilla on offense because they just said, and Colin Shanahan said this after the game, like we just knew that they weren't, once they got a lead, that they weren't going to move the ball on us. And this was the game where Salah was going nuts on the sideline with all of his players, and the Rams couldn't do anything on offense. Well, why is that? Well, San Fran has a really good defense, and by the way, it looks like Sherman and K'Waun Williams will be back. They're two corners who were out last week, which will help. A couple of other guys are questionable, but more importantly, their corners will be back. They still will get pressure with the best. And the Rams had 165 yards in this game, total offense, 3.3 yards per play. It was a home game, but really might not have been. There was a lot more 49. Might have been more 49ers fans at this game. But they can get pressure with their defensive line naturally. It's one of the things that makes the 49ers so great. Does their secondary, when healthy, which it's going to be a lot healthier this week, their secondary is good. And they can generate pressure without blitzing. They blitz as little as any team in the NFL, and they have one of the highest sack rates, the highest pressure rates, and they don't blitz because they can generate pressure with their defensive front. And if you can generate pressure on Jared Goff, good night. There goes the Rams offense. And this is also a short week, and Todd Gurley, who got a lot of touches last week, and I still think he's just not healthy. Something's off, but he got a lot of touches.
Looks a little better. Looks a little better,
but like a short week now, after all those touches, it's who knows what you're going to get. It's very hard to predict with Gurley. But regardless, they're going to be able to get pressure on Goff, and they're going to throw off this Rams offense. You saw the Cowboys do it, and the Cowboys don't have as good of a secondary as the 49ers. You should also get a very focused effort from the 49ers, their defense last week after, Julio and that drive from the Falcons late. And on the flip side, while I don't think the Rams offense will do much, I do think their defense is really good. Troy Hill is actually really important to that team, given out who his backup is. And, they have a great, Ramsey on one side. They have a great nickel corner and Roby Coleman. And then Troy Hill's been playing a lot better. It looks like he left the game last week with an injury to his thumb or somewhere in his hand. He got it wrapped up. They think that he should be able to go, which will be important. But I do think that this Rams defense is a top 6 or 7 unit overall, and a lot of the advanced numbers back that up. You should see, after them getting embarrassed in the first meeting, after them getting embarrassed last week against Dallas, this is a prideful unit with Donald and Weddle in those corners. You should see an inspired effort from this Rams defense. So late season division game, another matchup, teams familiar with each other. Number one, 49ers can pressure the Rams. That's all we need to do to get Goff off this game. And on the other side, I think that the Rams defense can show up here. I think this is like, at most, this is like 2017, 23-17-ish. Maybe a little value on the Rams, but I like the under here.
Yeah, and I actually just finished, before we got on to record this podcast, writing up the biggest mismatch for the Rams-Niners games. And for those not familiar, we preview every game on actionnetwork.com and in the app. And one of the sections is the biggest mismatch. Let me say it again. In one of the sections, there's odds in there. Stuck's usually doing something on mismatches, or I will. But this week, in this game, what I wrote up was, the Niners D-line going against that Rams O-line and Goff. And that's because exactly what you said, to put some numbers behind it, they pressured Goff on 46% of his dropbacks in that first meeting. On those, it was 13 dropbacks in all that he was pressured on. He went 2 of 9 passing for 12 yards with 4 sacks. So the Niners D-line is still pretty healthy. I mean, you still got Bosa, Buckner, You still got Armstead there. So those are the key guys. The Rams only have one guy starting on the O-line, Andrew Whitworth, who ranks better than 46th in Pro Football Focus's pass blocking grades. And that includes the center who, you should rank – if you're ranked outside the top 32, that's bad because there's only one center per team. So it's ugly for the Rams. So, yeah, I'm totally with you. I expect a lower scoring game because that Rams defense has also improved. And that the Niners offense, I mean, Kyle Shanahan, good schemer. But I think this Rams defense is pretty talented and will be motivated. So I like that call.
Yeah, and the reason, by the way, I've said it before, but the reason that the pressure throws off the Rams is Goff is a mechanical. He's accurate when he has time in the pocket, but he's a mechanical thrower. He's not that mobile. He's not Mahomes. He's not Lamar Jackson. He can't, if he's getting pressure, drop back, straight back, and then just throw a laser. He doesn't have the strongest arm. So if you just collapse the pocket, he's done. That's it. Like he has to sit there. He needs time to complete his mechanical throwing motion. And if you blow up the pocket and prevent him from doing that, there goes the Rams offense. Good job paying him all that money.
Yep. And this is a spot where if you're thinking about the point spread, just really quick, Sean McVay in his career, 8-4 against the spread off a loss, 4-1 this season. That one loss to the San Francisco 49ers.